The Peoria Citizens Committee for Economic Opportunity, Incorporated, PCCEO, operates the Peoria Area Food Bank. This program serves over 120 pantries in 8 counties. Counties served are Peoria, Tazewell, Woodford, Fulton, Mason, McLean, DeWitt, and Livingston counties. The Peoria Area Food Bank is a member of America's Second Harvest, the nation's largest hunger relief organization, and is active with the Illinois Food Bank Association, whose mission is to educate the public about the purpose of Second Harvest food banks serving Illinois counties and the role the food banks play in addressing hunger. The food bank provides 120 active food pantries, soup kitchens, homeless shelters, low-income daycare centers, and more, with large quantities of food from name brand manufacturers and USDA commodities on a daily basis. In 2007, the food bank distributed almost 1,400,000 pounds of food. The food bank relies heavily on corporate manufacturers for food donations. It also receives support from individuals and local businesses, and actively participates in the annual Peoria Area Anti-Hunger Coalition Canathon and the National Association of Letter Carriers Food Drive. The food bank has also received donations from Steak and Shake, Kroger, UPS, 104.9 The Wolf FM radio, RLI, and many smaller businesses and organizations throughout the service area.
All over Central Illinois to different organizations that will distribute the food out to people. And I'm sure, as you know, this time of the year, it's very important to have a good, strong food bank so that people have the opportunity to get the food so they can have a nutritious meal.
We're open really one day a month, on the first Friday of each month. And usually it's a pretty good sized bag of food, and then we have a lot of frozen foods. And well, we couldn't really do it without food banks. We really have to shop to find food that's affordable.
And this food bank represents really the distribution point for many counties, many communities, whether it be churches, whether it be community centers. This place is essential that, in terms of feeding people throughout Central Illinois.
It was about 6 years ago, and I was going through a divorce. I had a great job. I still have a great job, and my husband left me with 2 kids in college and a lot of bills to pay, and I needed the services of food pantry to help monthly needs, and so I searched out, a little embarrassed, searched out a couple that not necessarily in Pekin, and it helped me get through about 3 or 4 months that I needed assistance with.
I think the need for the pantries and the food bank still exists because there's still people with food insecurity. The studies show that there are just thousands of people in the area that people don't even realize that each month are nervous about where their next meal is going to come from.
When we started 2 years ago, we saw probably an average of maybe 30 families, and then it's grown each month to now probably in the area of 150 to 160 families each month.
We started in January 3 years ago, and we were probably serving 30 people. We have about 80 to 100 people come each month now on the last Saturday, and then we've also opened up on the second Thursday of each month the food pantry, where we service about 9 to 12 families each month.
Peoria Area Anti-Hunger Coalition alone serves over 15,000 individuals a month in some capacity or other. There's just a real need out there for people to be secure about nutrition for their families.
We have entered some very serious economic hard times. Some people seem to think we're already in a recession in the country, and there's a lot of predictions that it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. So the food bank has played a very crucial role in helping needy people, and I think that in the future it'll play even a bigger role as we enter into these hard times that we're into now in the 2008.
PCCEO is the community action agency that has served Peoria County since 1966. Besides the food bank, it offers programs such as Head Start, Senior Meals, Community Services Block Grant, energy programs, and more. PCCEO is helping people, changing lives for every stage of life.
Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion with the River City Rough Riders, and as you can tell, we have a new face. Have a gentleman by the name of Nathaniel Spires. Nathaniel, welcome to Captions.
Welcome.
And it was my understanding during the break that even though our first three guests were from outside the city and the state, you are a Peorian, is that correct?
Born and raised.
Born and raised. Okay, well, I'm so glad that you too have connected with the Rough Riders. I assume you're part of the organization itself that operates and runs the Rough Riders, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And how did you get interested in becoming associated with the group that rides horses? Because I'm quite certain that being born and raised here, horses weren't the kind of things you ran into in the hood or the neighborhood. How did you get interested in horses and this organization?
Actually, I started with them about late summer. Went out there for a little organization they had going on out there. And,
okay.
Got introduced to everybody, and I've been there ever since. Ain't left.
Well, that's great. That's great. Beulah, let me ask you and Barb some things, because you're ladies. I mean, not only are we exposing our community to something that unfortunately we're not accustomed to seeing, and that's minorities or African Americans ride horses, but for the most part we probably aren't that common in seeing females. What is it about riding a horse that the two of you, from a female point of view, find of value or interesting? Or what could you say to other women who may be watching, who may be fearful? I mean, is there something that you can tell them that they're missing or that they ought to try? Or
it's a lot of fun. When I first started riding, it started off hard because I was having a lot of problems. But once I got it down pat, it's very enjoyable. It's relaxing. It's a lot of fun. Women's all try riding horses sometimes.
How long have you been riding horses?
About a year.
About a year.
Okay. It's been about a year.
And how did you get involved in riding horses in terms of like an organization in particular?
I went out. Well, I was hanging out there with Barb and George, and Barb was saying, "Billy, you ought to ride the horse." I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna ride the horse." Okay. And she finally convinced me to ride it, and I got up there. I don't want to get off now. I love every minute of it. It's so much fun.
Well, that's great. Barb, how did you get interested in horses, and how long have you been involved in riding horses or whatever?
Well, I've been riding ever since I was probably 9 or 10.
Okay, so at least a year then, huh?
Yeah. I first started riding when we moved to Arkansas. My brother got a horse. That was his thing.
Okay.
And me being a tomboy, I wanted to do everything the boys did. So I figured if they could ride, I could ride too.
Okay, well that's great.
So it's been ongoing ever since.
Well, I'm glad that you're riding, and I'm glad that you reached out and convinced Beulah to become a part of it. And I hope that through this show tonight, other people may know you through friendships or may just be meeting you for the first time tonight, but they also might become inquisitive and become a part of either the organization or at least getting involved in riding horses. How do you feel? Obviously, this organization was in existence, and through this organization and you're being exposed to them, that's when you decided that you wanted to become a part of the organization? Is that what I understood you to say?
Yeah, I just saw everybody else riding, and I ain't never been around a horse in my life, so I just wanted to get up there, and I didn't get the good part of somebody walking next to the horse with me. They threw me on the horse and told me to go, and ever since then it actually been a lot of fun. He can't get rid of me now.
Okay. Were you part of any kind of an organization or a church group that was exposed to the Rough Riders, or did you just, as an individual, somehow come in contact with them?
Basically family.
Family reunion.
Family reunion. It was a family get together.
Oh, what? Can you explain that a little more? Did you have a family reunion of your own, and somehow this organization became a part of it, or what? What do you mean through family reunion? What
I was actually living with my cousin, and he said that we were going to go out to a little family get together.
Okay.
Which is I think their side of the family is married into mine, or other way around. So we just went out there, and
so the family reunion was held out on the farm with the horses.
Yes.
And this is in Hannah City?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I would assume then that would be a part of, there's some people watching, and they have family reunions, and they're trying to think of a different place to have it or a place to have it. That would be a kind of an event that the Rough Riders would work with individuals in pulling off a family reunion. Am I right there?
Yes.
We most definitely participate in that type of event.
Or maybe even a special birthday party, like somebody turning 16 or 17 or 18. Normally when kids turn 16, the first thing they want to do is get a car. and get a driver's license. Well, this would be somewhat different and unique, that as a family they can go there to celebrate
have fun.
A birthday and have fun. Well, I am really delighted that you are on my show tonight and letting people, all people, and not just minorities, but particularly people of color who often are not exposed to horses and things of that type. I would assume that there might even be occupations and things that people may want to even pursue in terms of horses in some capacity. Do any of you have any thoughts or ideas in terms of what an individual may be able to do? I assume basically you'd be like a farmer type person where you're raising horses and taking care of horses. Are either of the three of you aware of any kinds of opportunities or thoughts that kids may want to think about in terms of maybe some kind of a future, or not? Or is it just kind of a hobby?
Well, you have some of the kids that come out that says, well, I want to be a veterinarian when I get big. That way I'll know how to take care of the horses. And, a lot of them, and we have a couple goats out there too, so they're fascinated with the goats, so we won't leave the goats out. But everybody don't have to ride. Some of them wants to do the hayrack ride. A lot of them are fascinated with the barn fire, the weenie roast and stuff. So you have some that loves to ride, then you have some that's kind of scared to ride. But we try to do more than just a horse ride. We do the barn fire and the hayrack rides. That way everybody have fun.